And welcome to the Monster Report live here on YouTube and on Facebook. So glad you're here to join us. And the Monster Report Live is a show highlighting those entertaining creatures of film history. I'm your host, Nick Adam, and I am at Monster HQ. And we are so excited to have you here for a post-Godzilla Day discussion with my special guest. I'll bring in just a moment. But of course, if you haven't already, smash that like button, atomic blast that like button. We are here because we love Godzilla and we love all kinds of monsters that are like Godzilla, that Godzilla has inspired. Godzilla Day should be, in my opinion, an international holiday, maybe even a day off of work, though I didn't take that day off of work for my my special personal holiday of Godzilla Day. But you're here. It is Godzilla Day has, taken over in Japan. We've got some friends in Japan that have been experiencing what it's like to celebrate Godzilla Day in the land of the rising sun. I'll be sharing some of that, those media assets with you here today, later on in the show. So again, if you haven't already, subscribe here at the Monster Report. We'd love to have your subscription and love to get over that 100,000 subscriber milestone. So close. And we are going to bring in our guest today. First off, we've got Mr. Everett from Godzilla Fan Freaks. Good to have you.
Thank you for having me, Nick. Really happy to be here.
Wonderful to have you as well. And I even think I have a sound effect for you. No, that's Ghidra. That's not it. There you go. Titanosaurus. All right. Yes. Your favorite, I think your favorite monster of all time, right?
Yes.
Of all time? Really?
Yeah, of all time.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Okay.
He's the tippy top.
Yeah. And if you haven't already, you've got to subscribe and check out Godzilla Fan Freaks here on YouTube, on Instagram, and on Facebook. We have also got Mr. Chris Olio, Seismic Toys. Good to have you, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Nick.
Absolutely. Alex Rusty, also from Seismic Toys. Good to have you as well. And he's muted.
There we go.
I loved your sound of silence.
Yeah.
There. Yes.
No, I was saying I'm also a fellow Titanosaurus enjoyer, so
Yeah.
recognize it.
The lovely vocal cords of Titanosaurus. Did anyone dress up for Halloween this year as Titanosaurus, or anything for that matter?
I dressed up, but not as a kaiju. I was for work at the day program I work at and everything like that. All the members and some of the staff dressed up, and I bestowed Spawn in front of everybody. So everybody really liked my Spawn getup. So
Nice.
Spawn, scare anyone away?
no, they all loved it actually.
Pretty good. I went as the boring dad with arthritis and diabetes. So yeah, that's
A classic costume.
yeah. And I scared everyone away because I had my arthritic walk. Definitely looked like some sort of creature. It was strange. Everywhere we went, it seems like. Can you guess the big costume of adults and their decorations?
For this year?
Yes, this year. Kids went trick-or-treating, and we saw this about everywhere we went. And this may be just an Indiana thing. Pennywise.
Interesting.
No.
Pennywise.
Yes.
I guess
they
there
did have
is a new show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dairy
Yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Very, yeah. And it's like, all right, I guess it's popular again. Growing up 80s and 90s, we had the Tim Curry Pennywise series, and it scared the heck out of me as a kid. And I love to watch it over and over again. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Godzilla. I didn't see any Godzilla costumes. I've seen a few of those like inflatable dinosaurs, but nothing like you see at some of our cons that we've got out there, and some awesome cosplays that are going on here. Space Beast, good to have you in the chat. And Sean Gorman, also good to have you today in the chat. And make sure you are, again, subscribed here. We're going to talk some Godzilla. We're going to talk some stuff that's happened Godzilla Day and the legacy of the the amazing beast that he is and kind of like his impact on our lives. So I guess I'd start with this. If there was, and we'll go around the room here, if there was something about Godzilla Day that particularly stood out to you as interesting, groundbreaking. I think Everett and I talked a little about, some of the things that were just kind of on the meh side, but, maybe something that stood out to you as something you'd like to maybe particularly bring up. Nick reviews, good to have you in the chat. Everett, take it away. Something that was, perked your interest a bit.
What perked my interest and what's been the talk of the town is the fact that the giant condor has officially gotten a Bandai figure release. That bird won that vote, and man, did they make that figure. And that is just hilarious to me. I picked one up, no shame, because I only have one other giant condor in my collection. So you can't have enough. Also, the t-shirt that they came out with is actually pretty hilarious. I almost wanted to pick that up, but I was like, nah, I'm okay. But it was funny because it said the giant condor appeared suddenly, died instantly, remembered forever, or something like that. Was the quote on it. And I think that's pretty funny that Toho's embracing it in this way.
I just about had a skit ready for you, Everett. You would have loved this one. I just about had Leslie doing something because I know how he feels about the giant condor, and Leslie Chambers, Collect All Monsters, in his review show too. I was going to have him do the spot of Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park when John Hammond's talking about bringing back condors, and he's just like, So, and it's just like hand in head and just looking at you like, you've got to be kidding me, the condor. But respect to Leslie, I saw he picked up one in Japan. So from the Godzilla store over there. So it's like, okay, the condor it is. Alex, take it away. Anything about Godzilla Day?
I think that, I got to agree. The condor is great. But I think the thing that was really interesting to me or really exciting to me is just the fact that they did a new Godzilla Day short, and they finally got rid of that ratty old Final War suit that looked terrible, and they made this beautiful new Millennium Godzilla, Burning Godzilla combo suit. And the short itself was pretty cool. I know there wasn't a ton of like action in it, but it was well shot. The suit looked great. I'm like, oh, finally, they made a new Godzilla suit. And so now the future shorts are all going to look that much better because of it. Because that Final War suit was rough.
Could you have just dealt with a lot more of that short? It could have just gone on and on to see some sweet, fresh tokusatsu.
I assume they're going to tease it out every year. So we got to be patient. But I would have liked if it had kept going.
Oh man. Yeah, it was pretty sweet. We'll talk more in depth about the short film as we go along, because I do want to dive in a little bit on that and talk about the design, talk about just the direction of that. But while I'm getting this next image up here, Chris, take it away.
I gotta agree with both you guys because Giant Condor, that's an exciting release, and the short was great. I always loved the 2000 suit, and anything Burning Godzilla is good, so that was cool. But for me, the thing that actually stands out is luckily we have an Alamo Draft House here on Staten Island in New York City, and we actually got some screenings of Return of Godzilla, or Godzilla 84, depending on how you want to categorize that movie, which is one of my favorites. And it was actually really cool because I got to go see it last night, so I didn't actually watch something on Godzilla Day, but I went last night to a Showtime event, which was always good to see on the big screen, and decent crowd there.
Awesome. Was it like a 35 millimeter?
Oh, no. It was digital projection. It was Janus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still pretty good.
It was cool.
Yeah. So very cool to see that. I think there was something here in Indiana that I knew that they were screening 84 for as well, but I'm not sure where it was. There was even a screening at some university this year too. So yeah, it's like some screenings for Godzilla Day. Some things were here, away from Japan, here at least in North America, but not a lot. I've seen, obviously plenty of places putting out collectibles. Cavity Colors came out with what their Zilla and their did they have no, it was Ghost X Ghost had a Space Godzilla, I think. Yeah, Everett's he's a t-shirt kind of guy, so I know you were watching for those kinds of things. But yeah, it was just those two that I think I saw. And what else was there collectible wise? Well, actually, yeah, Leslie had some stuff that's that they showed off over there. But yeah, let's actually talk about that short film here. What we thought about it, what we like, and actually just go around the bend again there, Everett, and I think I have to reset my browser. I'm on my work computer, guys, so of course nothing's like all the preferences are wrong in here, so I've got to like set them, and it's like quit your browser. I'm streaming, don't you understand? So I'll let you talk for a minute while I reset the browser. But yeah, talk about the short film, and when you're done, Everett, just send it away to either Alex or Chris, and I'll be back in a moment here.
Okay. The short, for what it was cool. Like Alex was saying, you kind of expected maybe a little bit more. I mean, it was only like 7.5 minutes roughly. But for me, I mean, the new Godzilla suit was great. I do like the Godzilla 2000 suit. So, seeing it refurbished and pieced together with the burning effects and everything was really good. But man, I feel like I'm just one of those Godzilla fans that I wasn't overwhelmed with anything this year from it. I felt like Godzilla Day was just kind of lacking with the short, because then at the end we got teased again with Ghidorah, which I wish that they would do something different, because again, I'm one of those that I'm tired of seeing Ghidorah, Mothra. It's like, give the limelight to some of these other kaiju that deserve it. Give us King Caesar, give us Hedra again, give whatever. Give us Titanosaurus, because it's their anniversary this year too, for 1975. So it's like, give us a Mecha Godzilla or something. But there's a thanks. But I thought it was okay. Again, I wish that we got a little bit more out of it, because it was a very basic, straightforward short film. There wasn't really anything about it mind blowing, other than it was going to be a burning Godzilla 2000, which we already knew which was going to happen, because they teased that like a week or so before Godzilla Day. So there wasn't anything like, it didn't blow my mind. You know what I mean? It was very generic. It was straightforward. Godzilla destruction. That was it. So I'm one of those Godzilla fans that I'm just kind of like, it was okay. Alex?
Yeah, I mean, I really like that we get any Tokusatsu Godzilla anymore, but as someone who also watches like a lot of Ultraman, I'm kind of like, well, I wish they would get some of those Ultraman guys to come over and like do even like a half-hour Godzilla special or something. You know what I mean? Because this one had some cool shots, like some cool special effect shots, like those guys run in at the beginning and you think it's a real set and it's actually a miniature and Godzilla stomps it, or like panning through the buildings is really cool. But like, it doesn't, like you said, it doesn't have enough time to tell a story. So really it just ends with the reveal of burning Millennium Godzilla, which is really cool. Like it's visually well done, but yeah, it would be nice if they could figure out some way to give us something a bit more substantial for these shorts. Because like I think we would all agree, I'd happily buy Blu-rays of this stuff. I mean, they did Blu-rays of the last few shorts. If they released them, I think people would buy them. So yeah. I kind of agree. It was what we got was cool, but I do wish we could get more moving forward.
What do you think? Actually, going back to your Ultraman comment, is it because of the the writing and storytelling style of it or the tokusatsu effects, because those Ultraman tokusatsu guys are nuts. But they're good at what they do.
Effects, yeah. I mean, like, if they got Kiyotaka Taguchi to do a Godzilla Day short, it would be insane. Like, it would be nuts. Nothing against the guys who are working on this stuff now, but they're also probably hamstringed by a pretty small budget. I think it took. My guess is that they have enough money to make like one new suit every few years, and that's why it took so long for us to get this suit. But yeah, I mean, if they had a little bit more of a budget and, you know, maybe a little more time and got some of those technicians in, I mean, the tokusatsu stuff in the new Ultraman shows is like pretty nuts. So
absolutely. Chris, take it away.
Yeah, I'm glad we have a new suit, and I'm even excited that they teased out a burning Godzilla Bandai. That's Millennium style. That was actually very cool. You know, I think it's definitely setting up for a continuation, which is cool. Although I'm very surprised this year we did not get a CGI short, because the last few years have been very interesting with those, which I actually like those a lot. I thought they were great. But I'm kind of in the same boat as everybody here. I love that we're getting anything tokusatsu. You know, practical effects Godzilla. I think it's terrific. You know, you just wish it was a little longer.
I mean, you're removed already. Remind me, guys, who was the company doing the CGI shorts, like the guy?
Gemstone.
Gemstone, yeah.
Gemstone, yes. Excellent work, yes. But you're right. CGI. Tokusatsu's just awesome to see still. I kind of like, you know, the fact that we can blend, you know, a little bit of both in some of these. Though I will say about this one, up to a certain point, it was one shot. It was a continuous shot, which is very difficult to do, and timing of things. And then, you know, I'm sure there was some blending of composite effects because you had the guy in the office space, you know, doing his dance with mom. I can only assume he was singing in the rain. But yeah, and then there's like little like inserts that they had in the buildings of, I can only assume couples fighting. And that's all they do in Japan, apparently, is couples fighting while the monster's outside about to smash their building. So
it reminded me of that scene in Mothra versus Godzilla where the two guys are too busy beating each other to realize, oh, Godzilla's coming.
That's right.
Plus, I gotta say that the whole there was that meta moment where Godzilla looks at the Hotel Gracery that Godzilla had. I thought that was actually a fun touch too.
Yeah, I did like the Shinjuku, you know, hotel shot there. That was pretty good.
Yeah,
you can only assume that there's a couple of things running through his head. One, it's his birthday, and this is what they got me. It doesn't even look like me. It's not even the same Godzilla. It's not the Millennium.
So 90s.
Right. The only other thing I could think of is that he's just like, you know, they think I'm a joke. They make me
as long as he didn't mistake it for like a female Godzilla, you know, I think that's all we need to make sure that didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. You had to imagine something was going through his head, something maybe like that, but
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and Nick Reviews, good to have you in the chat. Nick Reviews, also a YouTuber. Check out his channel. He's got a lot of cool toy reviews, and he just brought it out. Godzilla -0. We got a teaser. We got a logo. Pretty much just got a title reveal. I even did a video, you know, way back on the title reveal for Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire, when everyone started doing their speculations. So I did a whole video on the crazy, wildest speculations that I had, which were completely off the wall, intentionally, not that I literally thought these were true. So I was like, yeah, it's already happening with this one. Is the logo telling us this story? Are the 2 zeros, you know, saying this story? Is this sounding familiar?
Yep. Yep. Every time a new Godzilla movie hits or something like that, and me and Nick talked about this the other day over text. I'm one of those people that it's great to see these things, but I'm not one of those YouTubers or one of those fans that has to pick apart every little thing. Oh, look at that rock. Oh, that means something. You know, like it's annoying to me. I'm just like, wait for the movie. But it's like things have blown up about this to where it's like people think either the tadpole or the flying form Hedra is somehow incorporated into the G. They think the Hedra eyes are the zeros. And then some people have pointed out that GOO, goo. And so a lot of people think Hedra, which I've been hearing that they've been wanting to bring back Hedra. So it's a possibility, but I'm also one of those guys that I'm just not going to pick it apart that way. I'm going to wait till it comes out. I'm excited for it. But just all the speculation of stuff drives me up the wall. I can't stand that stuff.
It's like in 2014 when people were saying Rodan confirmed.
Yeah.
And he was not confirmed.
Rodan confirmed. In the shot where the Muto was like going through Vegas and stuff, there was that broken building, and then there was the two, they were firemen, but everyone was like, that looked like the Mothra fairies. And it's just like,
I remember that.
stop. Just stop.
Well, I remember it with the footprint or the foot of Shin before it came out. And everyone's looking. And I mean, yeah, you did see sort of a trilobite in there, but that really had nothing to do with anything in the end. So other than a shout, you know, an homage to the original 54. So other than that, it had nothing to do with this film. So I'm like, the other things that they were speculating about Shin, and then it comes out and it's like, yeah, nothing confirmed. And so the same thing's going to happen here. And I'm just like, you know, we got a title reveal. Everyone chill. We don't know much about it. We know our director, our boy Yamazaki's directing it. That's great. And it's a period piece as far as we understand it. And okay, just wait and see, I guess. But yeah, the only thing I can say is I guess it can get lower than 1, you know, can get lower than 1, which is negative 1, 0, -0. I don't know. I figured they would do something along the lines of a minus something because it's all in the marquee value. I mean, let me ask this. If he's going to fight another monster, other than the legendary films, the titles always have the other monster in it. There's some minor exceptions. Because, I mean, it does come down to the marquee of the title. The title's got to have the monster's name in it. Godzilla versus Megalon. Godzilla versus Gigan. Ghidra, the three-headed monster. All of these things. It's got to have the foe in the title. Yes, the American version of Godzilla versus the Thing, but it's Mothra versus Godzilla in Japan. Godzilla 2000, and maybe even, yeah, you guys can tell me, isn't the title, at least in Japan, Godzilla versus Orga?
I think it's Godzilla 2000 Millennium in Japan.
I think that's what it is. Yeah, Orga never was in the title, I don't think.
I have a VHS of it.
That's where I saw it. I think that was like a I don't know if it was in the Japanese packaging, but
I think the Japanese VHS.
Godzilla versus Orga, yeah.
Yeah, it said Godzilla versus Orga. So I wasn't sure what it was, but I guess in a sense, okay, yeah, we called it a title that made it look like it was a solo Godzilla film, but then we surprised you with a monster. But that's kind of more of an American, you know, way of doing things. Like the legendary films, you know, we knew Ghidra was going to be in King of the Monsters, but other monsters, you know, some of them were kind of a surprise. Other monsters in the other films were sort of a surprise. Yeah, people started looking at the trailer and pulling it apart and dissecting it. But yeah, other than that, I guess we got to wait and see. But anyone else have anything else on -0?
Just let Yamazaki do whatever he wants, I feel like.
Exactly. And then once that hits theaters, just put your butt in the seat and enjoy.
Yep.
That's what I can say. I mean, yeah, give him the keys to the castle, let him cook, and yeah, he's gonna blow us away. I mean, it is gonna be good. And yeah, and I do wonder, of course, you know, looking into it, if we're gonna get sort of a different look for Godzilla. I do know that the Godzilla the Ride is incorporating some new cool stuff. I like seeing what they're doing with that. And Yamazaki's part of that as well. So, you know, I know he's the master of his craft, and he's an Oscar winner for Godzilla -1. So, I mean, yeah, the credit goes there. where it belongs. Yeah, the other things about this Godzilla Day that stood out. Of course, yeah, they sent the email to kind of talk about that. Yeah, I guess here in the North America, there was the C4 beverage that they released. It's kind of the Godzilla Asia, if you remember that trailer where he's got the green fire going on, and it's kind of -1 with a green glow to him. So yeah, they've got that kind of going. The Godzilla store, of course, has got the JX SDF merch that's going on. Other than the hats, I don't know. that might be neat to get. And did anyone get their Shin Godzilla 4K ordered and in hand?
Not yet. It should. I got the shipping notification, so it should be any day. But I'm excited.
Go ahead, Alex.
I was gonna say I pre-ordered it, and my local shop has it. I just got to go pick it up now. So
one of my local stores here in town, Zia Records, had the Steelbook, and I almost picked it up. I was looking at it, but then part of me is like, I don't know. I'm paying $45 basically for a Steelbook, and then a slightly upgrade from the Blu-ray that I have that came out whenever that came out. I was kind of like, I don't need to waste that money necessarily. So I thought about it, but I was like, I'm literally just buying it for a Steelbook basically, and I'm not paying $40 just for a different casing. So I was like, I'll pass.
I mean, it's got the special features, right? I know that there's like multiple versions again, like -1, where it's kind of confusing, but it should have it's weird because I wish that with these releases it would just be a pure upgrade, but the old disc has an English dub and the new disc has a different English dub. So I'm like, well, now I don't want to get rid of my old disc. It's like now like that dub's only on that disc. So it's kind of weird that they've handled it that way.
Yeah. I mean, look how many times -1 was released. They did it like 3 or 4 different times, and each time was a different thing.
The only way you could get every special feature and everything is if you ordered a deluxe set from the UK. There was no version of the movie in North America that had everything. It was like, geez, what's the problem with it?
Yeah, because otherwise I didn't, get an English dub unless I got that 4K one from Walmart, because that's the only reason I have that one was for the English dub. But yeah, the one from the Godzilla store, subtitled. But did the UK, for instance, it had the black and white version of -1, but only on Blu-ray, but not 4K in the Godzilla store exclusive. So I assume that the UK version might have had a 4K of the black and white, but again, I don't know.
Maybe I'm not even sure at this point.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't even know if the version of Shin Godzilla that I bought comes with Shin Godzilla Ortho or not, because that's been spun off, right? Or that's a Godzilla store only thing. It's confusing. I was like, I just want Shin Godzilla on 4K. I'll get this one, and I'll just assume that it's going to be decent because it's getting a little silly with the amount of versions there are out there.
Well, and even Ortho kind of worked for -1, but
it was weird for Shin. But
I wasn't a big fan of it, to be honest with you. I when I saw Ortho, I went to a screening of it last summer, and it was cool to see. It's a fun thing, but it wasn't as impactful as minus color, because I found a lot of times some of the effects got washed out with the black and white in Shin, and minus color was so much more richer, and there was like a little more of a grain texture. There was a little more of a color correcting going on.
They put a lot of love into that version of it.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah. Mason Patrol's in the chat. Does the new dub say third children and idiot Shinji? That I don't remember.
That's a little Evangelion reference, because there was also so the old Shin Godzilla was dubbed by Funimation, who also dubbed 2 Evangelion movies, and then later on, I think Evangelion 1.0 and 2.0 have been re-released without the Funimation dub, with a new dub. and Shin Godzilla is getting released with a new dub, and it's so confusing. A lot of times, instead of re-releasing an existing dub, studios find it, I don't know, cheaper or easier to just commission an entirely new dub. Like, I'm pretty sure Inuyasha on Netflix has a dub, but it's not the dub that I grew up with. I don't know why, but they made a whole different dub for it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And would you say it was pretty inferior to what you originally remember it as?
I mean, it can be really hard to go back to something from your childhood with just the voices changed. It's kind of like something's not quite right here, right? Like it's, I imagine if they re-released, I don't know, Monster Zero, and it had a new English dub, I'd be like,
yeah,
why?
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta love our AIP dubs. I still love my Smog Monster dub from the VHS, even though they call him Hedra. That one at least has a superior kind of quality to the emotions, the international. Oh, and Sea Monster and Sun. Oh my goodness, those dubs, those international dubs, they hurt me.
Yeah. It's what you grew up with. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like Alex is saying, like that nostalgia plays a factor, but it's what you remember.
Yep.
How you saw the film for the first time,
And the Gamera dubs, same way. Sandy Frank VHS tapes, those ones that I find to be the more beloved ones, anyways. And especially with those other dubs that don't even pronounce it Gamera at times. Oh my. Yeah. And actually, and Alex, this is something you definitely can comment on, the subtitles. I did see somebody that had a screenshot of the end of -1 that had garbled subtitles for Noriko's, final words before the end of the movie. And I'm just like, this sounded like Shin Ultraman, some of those HTML codes and, script that ended up in some of those subtitles, that it was like, let's fix the fix with another fix and send you a bonus disc, because we screwed up and sent it out. I mean, by the time it ended up with you guys with, what was the company again?
Raven Banner.
Yeah. The good version of Shin Ultraman. I think they finally got it all worked out, but
they did. But honestly, they had to, I was talking to Andrew Hunt, who's the guy at Raven Banner who was kind of managing production on the title, and he was like, yeah, we had to redo a lot of stuff from scratch, like request new, better materials, and he was like, it's no surprise that the versions that released the Cleopatra disc were messed up. The reason it took a lot longer was because they had to fix a lot of stuff and do a lot of work. And it was also at one point Andrew was like, should we even include the dub? Do people even want that? And I was like, please just include everything. Promise me, it'll be worth it. And then it, it sold out. I think might be back in stock now. They did do another run because it sold out so quickly.
I know. I was waiting to get Everett his copy. He was the prize winner on one of my shows. He waited very patiently. Yeah. I mean, he was only texting me twice a day.
Do you remember when those Gamera sets came out with the flubbed subtitles, and then they put out replacement discs, and then those had flubbed subtitles, and they had to do another replacement disc?
I don't think I ever got the third replacement disc. I remember getting.
I don't know if I did or not. By that point, I was like, I'll wait until a couple years, and they'll do a better version of the set.
My goodness, that couldn't have been the Shout Factory, right? It was Mill Creek, or
it was Mill Creek, yeah.
Mill Creek, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I mean, yeah, we had to wait until Arrow finally got a hold of those, but yeah, it's and it's funny. A lot of us kind of forgot. Maybe you guys hadn't, but we forgot about one kind of Godzilla thing that's coming out soon here in North America. That's like a lot of people kind of forgot. Supernova, and it's like
the title everybody's debating.
I know, but I'm also kind of like, that makes sense. We're real focused on, the IP out of Japan because that's what we're mostly interested in. Legendary's doing its thing. It's cool, but it's there's the fans, there's the loyal fans of Legendary, and they're gonna pick apart that every bit of the way that they can. And obviously there's been a lot of news coming out, and of course a lot of merch and things that goes along with it. But I guess Supernova will just kind of sneak up on us, and it'll come out and it's like, oh yeah, that's right. Well, I guess I'll go see it. But we might be chomping at the bit to get ourselves into the seats of -0. But I mean, I'd really love for Japan to start cranking them out like in the Showa days, even the Millennium and Heisei days, almost once a year. I mean, that's probably a tall ask. But
yeah, I mean, I think part of the reason the movies have gotten better, like Shin and -1, is because they haven't been forcing their production teams to crank them out every year. But I like, I've got no problem with the Legendary stuff. It's not my favorite, but like I enjoy it enough. But I'm just, the fact that we're getting another Japanese Godzilla movie, and my hope is that if they keep doing well enough that Godzilla can kind of become a regular event again. Which it kind of is. It's just like every year it would be okay, either a MonsterVerse thing or maybe a Toho thing, and I like the Toho stuff best for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to get into actually a question that I'm going to pose for everyone and get your responses on. Then I want to get into some seismic updates that we've got, because I'm real excited to hear about those too. So here we are with this 71 years of Godzilla. So tell us about another IP inspired by Godzilla that maybe no one has thought of. And of course, there's some of the obvious ones that are out there. Some of the ones that are, not so obvious, that Godzilla has inspired, a lot of IP, whether it's in Japan, North America, Britain. I'm going to go with what I'm going to, I think is great, and I think people need to check it out, is Pulgasari. I love the story of Pulgasari. I love the movie itself. Love the backstory of everything that happened in North Korea, and it's just wacky and out of this world bizarre. And when you start, really digging into the fact that I'm seeing the character Pulgasari up there, and it is a man played by Godzilla, literally, I was like, it can't get much more inspired than that. It's just taking it into a period piece. And I've always, I drive out here in the Midwest a lot. I'm surrounded by a lot of open fields. It's great to see monster action in the cities. But occasionally I think of what it would look like if he's over these woods and open fields, and where there's nothing, there's not a lot of, stuff happening for him to destroy. But to see him in the period piece of North Korea, where you have small villages, a giant kaiju, smashing up things, fighting armies, and with period piece weaponry that they have, I think that's, in my way of telling people, it's like, you like Godzilla, you got to check out Pulgasari. I think it's just one of their best IPs out there. And that's one of mine. I think it's more of an underrated classic too. I'd love to see, it upgraded, of course, into a better format, because there isn't great formats out there. It just isn't. If you know of one, I'd love to find one that's, really restored the footage.
I think someone would have to go all the way to North Korea to the National Film Vault and get permission to do a new transfer. I don't know when that'll ever happen.
Yeah, it's probably going to have to be a an Ocean's 11 style, heist to get that out of North Korea.
But hey, stranger things have happened. I didn't think we'd be getting an HD transfer of Wang Mogwai ever, and it's on Blu-ray in North America. So, like, who knows? Maybe someday it'll happen.
It's possible. So we'll go around. Everett, inspired by Godzilla, another intellectual property.
Well, you went north. I'll go south with Yongari. You
Couldn't
know,
agree with you.
Yongari is one that I feel, is it's a film that may not be the best, but for what it is, and then just attaching it, to South Korea and everything like that, it was cool. I enjoy the movie. It's getting isn't it getting like an upgraded Blu-ray or 4K release too from
sounds
Vinegar?
They're coming.
Was it Vinegar Syndrome that's doing it?
They released it already, I believe.
Oh yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm behind on things, but yeah, no, I like that movie. I do feel it's a little underrated. Titanic Creations gave us the official Yongari figure. Things that I like about that film, just the effects. Again, I love the old style Showa tokusatsu stuff. The whole pipe in the mouth with the flame and stuff. Can't beat that. Yeah, Yongari for sure.
Awesome. Alex, take it away.
This is tricky. I mean, there's a lot. There's obviously a lot of obvious ones.
I know you will come up with one that probably is more like you got to dig a little bit to find this one.
There. Well, I was gonna say, like, going into video games, like there's the King of the Monster series and stuff.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth checking out. But I think in terms of it's a Neo Geo classic. Definitely worth checking out. But I think in terms of like movies or TV shows, one that is kind of notorious for being inspired by Godzilla is this one called Agon the Atomic Dragon, and it's pretty neat. It's kind of split into 4 episodes, and like 2 stories. One of them involves like mafia members, and anyways, it's a neat little Showa era kaiju 4-part miniseries. But it was considered so close to Godzilla that Toho got really mad about it, and they forced the creators to they couldn't air it. And so I think it was made in like 1960, and it didn't air until like 4 years later or something like that. But I mean, now I think Toho owns it or like distributes it, so I guess they're not mad about it anymore. But yeah, that would be my oddball pick, is Agon. If you haven't seen Agon, worth checking out. And then the suit was used again as Aaron in Ambassador Magma, aka the Space Giants. If you ever watched the Space Giants back in the day, he shows up there.
Aaron. But Agon, it was a Japanese IP, or was it a?
Yeah,
it was. Okay, I thought maybe it was another Asian, nationality that had produced it, similar to like what Korea was doing with Yongari. But
I mean, it was written by Shinichi Sekizawa, so he wrote many of Toho's kaiju movies. Yeah. So maybe that's why they were mad about it, is he'd run off and tried to make his own TV show, and they were like, "How dare you? You work for us!" But
right, yeah. And obviously Toho with the TV side of things, with Tsuburaya doing what he was doing. But this predates, I think, Tsuburaya doing the Ultraman series. So,
it does, yeah.
Yeah. So but they couldn't stop Tsuburaya. It just seemed like, I don't know, he was untouchable.
Yeah, I feel like even if they thought they could have stopped Tsuburaya, that'd be like shooting yourself in the foot. But they actually invested in Tsuburaya. Once he formed his company, Toho was a part owner of Tsuburaya Productions for a long, long time.
Okay, getting their piece of the pie.
Yeah.
Chris, take it away.
I would say I'm going to go to the other side of the globe in a sense and say Gorgo.
Gorgo
definitely was one that I was always. It took me a long time. I don't think I finally got to see it until I was in high school, but always was fascinated by it, reading about it in books and magazines, and it's definitely been a favorite of mine. And going back to what you said before, I mean, Titanic Creations, Everett, I mean, they did a phenomenal job with 2 different types of Gorgo toys. If you want a 30-centimeter beautiful big Gorgo, or you want an articulated one, I mean, doesn't get much better than that. It's a great film, great effects, and it's just a cool piece of history.
I was going to grab my plushie of Gorgo that Titanic put out.
Exactly. There's a plushie too. Yeah.
Yeah, they had the small and the large, and then they had the plush. But my goodness. But I really thought, Chris, I thought you were going to go with a particular IP. But we will talk about that particular one here shortly.
Yeah. Well,
yes. Yeah. Yes. But let's get into some of what SEISMIC's doing. And then later on, I'm going to get into Leslie Chambers' little adventure in Japan. And I'm over the moon, the fact that he's gotten the chance to go over there. I know some of our pals, Everett, you were mentioning Matt Burkett, Monstrosities. He's over there.
Yep.
I know I've seen some of the Cam guys. What else? Who else?
David Dopko's over there. I know.
Dopko. Yep.
Mike Trukowski just came back from there. John Bellotti came back from this. There's a lot of people we know and friends of ours have made some trips, which is great. You know,
John Bellotti was there for Godzilla Day.
Well, no, he was there. They were back like October, like early October. But
okay.
Yeah, but it's funny. Like a lot of people we know, it's like within the last few weeks, have all kind of went to Japan.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know Bellotti went over there, but yeah, to be at Godzilla Day would be awesome for him too. But I know that. I don't know if Chris from Kaiju Kingdom, if he got over there. He usually gets over there, but I don't know. I don't know if he got the chance to. I know he was doing some coverage of that.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Chris Eaton. Yeah,
You know,
sometimes he
I'm not
gets.
the first one.
Yeah, but that's when I was telling Leslie I've got the FOMO, the fear of missing out on all that he was checking out. But I'll share with him that. But earlier, producer Eli and I, we put something together to get into this announcement for SEISMIC Toys here. Just a moment. So, Gojira, we meet to get. Wait a second. I'm Gojira. You're Megadon. That's right. So, Megadon, we meet again for the first and last time. Really? Is it the first and last time? Think so. All those times at, Dawn of the Monsters, the video game, we were fighting, all kinds of things like that. You're right. Those were good times. Those were really good times. Hey, guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? Fighting? What are you doing? Do you guys know? It's Godzilla Day, I'm Godzilla. Silence! This is not about you. This is SEISMIC Toy time. But it's Godzilla Day. See? I'm the theater exclusive. Got my badge and everything. What?
Don't you realize it's Godzilla Day?
Knock next time you come in here. Knock, I tell you, knock!
I'm sorry, sir.
Did you see anything?
No, sir, I did not see you playing with the figures again.
Good.
I feel like that's not the first time that's happened.
He's just puts them on the shelf. That's all he does, right?
He just looks at them. That's all.
Right, exactly. So we gotta get into the next step, the next project for SEISMIC Toys. What's going on? What can we get excited about? And how can we participate?
There's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, there's currently from the summer, obviously we've had some really great stuff, which again, these are sort of coming out as well very soon. The Astro Boy Trick or Treats, which were a fun thing for us to put together, blind box figures. We were very excited to do those. In addition to that, we've got currently up on pre-order on the website right now, we've got Gigantron from Ultraman Rising, also sculpted by Dope Pope, which is a fantastic figure. It's so awesome. I mean, look at the wings on this. The detail is just absolutely amazing. So that could be pre-ordered right now on our website. But we've also got some other cool stuff. I think Alex may have a little something to show off there.
Yes, indeed. So this is The Last Dinosaur, 30 centimeter soft vinyl, X Plus style figure sculpted by Dope Pope from the iconic 1977 Rankin Bass and Tsuburaya Productions movie of the same name, The Last Dinosaur. So this is a prototype of the figure, and we are actually right now we've got a page live on Kickstarter for people to get notified on the launch for this project. And once it launches, you'll be able to purchase your very own Last Dinosaur figure. And that'll be going live tomorrow, probably around noon. So very, very soon.
Very awesome. I love The Last Dinosaur. That is an awesome looking figure. And Dope Pope does not disappoint one bit. So I'm going to bring up the Kickstarter page if everyone is able to see that. Just as simple as going to Kickstarter.com. If you don't have an account, it's free. Get yourself an account. And I just did a search for SEISMIC Toys. It's as simple as that. There is the campaign. And tell me about this. Am I going to have to pay something right now? Because I'm looking at this and, I'm saying, do I want to pay for this right now? Am I just interested? What is it I can do?
Well,
So
first,
go ahead, Chris.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say right now you can click on the little button. Right now it says saved on yours because you've already saved it. But if you click that notify me on launch button, you'll get an email as soon as the campaign goes live. And this is free. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to, just because you save it doesn't mean you have to buy it. But once it goes live, you can then check it out. We're going to have multiple tiers. So, this is like the fully painted version of the figure. There's a blank version you can purchase that's less, it's going to be cheaper than the painted version. And there's a whole bunch of extra goodies as well. We're talking about, basically we were able to get full access to the official Rankin Bass archives to share and restore and print off some really cool, photos, some behind the scenes stuff, even like some cool artwork that we hadn't seen before. So there's a lot of different packages that you'll be able to pick up, add-ons. And we actually got Joan Van Ark, who's the star of the lead actress in the film, to sign on to the project. So there is actually a tier where you can get her autograph on a special Last Dinosaur print. And we also got Tatsumi Nikamoto. So this is the guy who plays the Triceratops in the film. And he also plays some scenes of the T-Rex. And he's got a signed print as well. So like, if you've ever loved this movie, this is like the ultimate Last Dinosaur fan package. And on top of that, we've got this. This is the last Dinosaur's polar borer. So this is the sample, the prototype, and one of the very first stretch goal. If we get enough orders, we're going to add one of these to every single order, and it's quite a large item. It's a great accessory to come with the dinosaur. So I don't know. Chris and I have been Last Dinosaur fans for as long as we can remember. And it always irked us how difficult it was to find Last Dinosaur toys. Like there was nothing like this. I think M1 made something. It was Japan only. I've got one of them. But we wanted something more movie accurate. And so we said, well, what else is going to do it? We got to do it. So
yeah.
After our work, we figured it out.
And when I've talked to people who, they've been huge Toho fans, of course, of Kaiju, and I ask them, have you seen The Last Dinosaur? And it's like, The Last Dinosaur is like, what? And I'm like, oh, gosh, go find it, watch it. You're already a Tokusatsu fan. You're already a fan of the special effects of Tsuburaya. You're going to love this. If you've seen King Kong Escapes, that's a Rankin Bass co-production, too, with Toho. But this was only with Tsuburaya specifically, not with Toho, correct?
Yeah, I mean, Tsuburaya and Toho shared a lot of staff, but this was a co-production with Tsuburaya Productions, but Toho Toa actually distributed it in Japan. So in 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 the USA, it aired on ABC, right? It was only on TV and then VHS. In Japan, it was in theaters. In the UK, in Europe, it was in theaters. In Germany, it was in theaters. So yeah, Toho did theatrically distribute it in Japan. So even more kaiju DNA. And of course, if you hear the last dinosaur's roar, it is very similar to Godzilla's roar. Oh, and Leslie's telling us to sing the song.
Yeah.
To try and sing the song.
Oh, Leslie.
Man.
That's gonna be an unlocked level on Kickstarter, depending on, then we'll do the karaoke version.
Yeah, we'll do the karaoke version of the song.
I mean, with AI these days, you can probably just make whatever. You can make the karaoke version. You can make the version that does have the lyrics in multiple languages. Oh man, that is so cool. So yeah, I would say you need to back this. You need to get to Kickstarter, at least hit that notify button, get the email. There's nothing against that. I want everyone just to go ahead and do it. Just get it out of the way right now. Get the notifications when you guys are ready for this, and you make the announcements showing all the packages, to be a part of. I think that's awesome. And so it's such an underrated classic. I think it's such a fun film. I mean, there's been such a lack of fun films sometimes, especially recently. It's all been very brooding and serious, and some of that I like, but gosh, it's such a fun film. And yeah, that's one definitely, if you haven't had the chance. And I was even recently on a stream with someone who hadn't seen he'd seen War of the Gargantuas but hadn't seen Frankenstein Conquers the World. I'm like, oh my goodness, go see it. It's like some of these things that you don't, it doesn't have Godzilla, but it's right there along the lines of what you already love. And that's why Last Dinosaur fits right in there. And that's why I thought maybe you guys would have mentioned that as the IP that inspired, was the inspiration. But obviously what you came up with was great. And I definitely want everyone to, I'm encouraging everyone right now to go to that. Open up a new tab. Don't leave the stream, or, get a phone, or your spouse's phone, your neighbor's phone, or whatever right now while you're watching the stream again, and don't interrupt that. And get on the Kickstarter. And before we went live, I know that we talked about the link, that you have a direct link to the Kickstarter page. I know it's on your socials,
it is,
like on your X account, Instagram, and Facebook. Eventually website as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, for now, if you look up Last Dinosaur on Kickstarter, you can definitely find it there, or you can find it on our socials.
Absolutely. So yeah, check out SEISMIC Toys on Facebook, Instagram, and on X, and follow that link, or go to Kickstarter, set yourself up with that free account. I've had my Kickstarter account for years, and so I was already ready to log back in and haven't backed anything for a long time. So it's like it's time to get into the Last Dinosaur, and he's looking great.
Thanks. No, appreciate it. It's a T-minus almost 12 hours till it launches, so it's going to be exciting.
All right, awesome. Get those updates. Mr. Leslie Chambers is waiting patiently in the chat, and he sent me a few pictures of his adventures. I know that he got to a park. I'm guessing Shinguchu. I have never been to Japan, so I talk like I've been there. And some of these guys, I had Len Medlock on the channel once, and he was talking about the displays that they had with all the suits, which was really awesome to see. But Leslie's taken me there with his photography here, and he saw, I believe this is about a 30-foot sculpture of Godzilla in a park. I mean, maybe it's bigger than that, because you see the scale.
Is that the one that's also a slide, or is that a different one?
If Leslie, you're still in the chat, let us know. All I know is that I saw a video of someone walking up a ladder into Godzilla's crotch.
That sounds like the slide. That might be the slide. Because you climb into his crotch and then whoop, there you go.
There you are.
Yeah, in like Kurihama or something. It's so
cool. Okay. Thank you, Nick Reviews. Getting your notifications here. So, yep, Leslie's enjoying his time. I know he's got the image there of the short film Millennium Godzilla Burning Edition. So excited to see that. He went to the motherland, Toho Studios.
Awesome.
Whereas I understand this statue has changed, on occasion. I don't know if when you guys went to Japan way back, if you got to visit Toho Studios and saw, or at least the outside, what statue.
Yeah, I've been there.
Yeah, what statue was out there. I remember a while ago, and this has been a while, when Kyle did his Kickstarter video, and wasn't the statue at that time actually the legendary Godzilla? I mean, I'd have to go back.
There was a very big sculpture of it. I remember it's similar to the image above, but it was legendary. It was in a park. I remember.
Okay.
Yes,
it wasn't.
That statue has always been the same as far as it's been open, and I want to say they put that up in like the 2010s, sometime in the 2010s. But there was a Godzilla statue that was in Hibiya Park, which is near I think Toho has like an office there or something. And so that used to be a Heisei Godzilla, and then they swapped it to a Shin Godzilla around 2017, something like that.
Okay.
And I think they moved the old Heisei Godzilla to somewhere else. Okay.
And I did see a long time ago another photo of the Cybot in a sort of retrofitted sort of way. Just kind of the exterior with a different sort of head that was used in promotional. Ed Godzilla had a cool picture of that at one point. I'm not sure if it was outside of Toho Studios or where it was placed, but it was a pretty cool shot to see, that size of a Godzilla. I know that he was looking for landmarks that you would have seen in the film. So the bridge in 84 where he reaches down while walking down the street and picks it up. And I kidded with Leslie. It's like, if I were in that train, I would be, you got to cast me as the priest who's smiling and loves the fact that he's about to be destroyed by Godzilla, especially my favorite Godzilla, which is 84. So, yep. Another landmark from 84.
Yeah.
The shot that was robbed from us in 85 that has that beautiful reflection shot.
Great shot.
Beautiful shot.
And then Godzilla smashed it up nicely. I mean, he was having trouble with the streets. I mean, he smashed it up kind of unintentionally, sort of. I know this was in one of the Godzilla stores, one of the many Godzilla stores. And I just loved the angle that Leslie got of this guy because...
Yeah, it's a beautiful shot, Leslie.
Oh, so well lit up and...
It's got like a burning Godzilla effect almost going on.
Yeah. I think it's bottom lit and maybe there's some translucency too. It's also got some... I didn't have it in this. I know he shot me some other pictures, but there's like these LED... there's these buildings with LED lights on them on the outsides that has the kanji and, some words. Obviously, sometimes it's saying Godzilla. Other times it's saying other things that I don't know. But it's a pretty cool display they've got. Of course, I'm like, everything he's showing me, I'm like, I would go broke in the store like that. Speaking of stores.
There you
yes.
go.
There it is.
Go. And I gotta say, I mean, they nailed it. It's a great representation of the giant condor.
Yep.
And it looks like he's picking up one for Everett. Too late. He bought one already. I'll take it. I'll take it, Leslie. Thank you. Thank you. Look at that.
That's cool looking. Yeah, I dig the burning Godzilla 2000. It's such a cool mashup.
Yeah, I love that pose too.
Yeah, that's a cool
Yeah.
toy.
It's not a typical pose for. Obviously, it's hard to get a pose like that in Tokusatsu, but more along the lines of this pose.
It's the
Be
old
nice.
X Plus. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. And so this is how old? Because I've never seen this.
That one was the original X Plus 30 centimeter version. It's interesting because the original version had a closed mouth, and then there was a version that was reissued a few years later that had an open mouth. So that's the one they're doing. I'm assuming this will be some kind of a Rick light up, which probably will look kind of cool. If you like light up toys, I mean, I know sometimes they could be a little touch and go, but I mean, it's a good sculpt. It's a cool toy.
Well, and go further with that. Is this the sculpt of what you remember of the Mega Goji?
Yep.
But was that sculpt that was released years ago not a burning translucent?
Correct. There
Okay.
was a version that was painted a little differently and had a little more, I believe, reds to it. I want to say that came out around 2016, 2014 area. But I mean, this is the same kind of mold. Like I said, it's a nice looking toy, and I think it looks better with the mouth open, to be honest, than it was closed mouth as it was originally put out.
Yeah. Well, and that Mega Goji looks great with the mouth open, anyways. Yeah, I have one I bought from you years ago, Chris. The
the version 2 of the X Plus, which is a reissue of one of the old kits, which is it's a cool pose.
Yeah, that pose I do love. He takes a lot of real estate on the shelf, but I still, I mean, he steals the show. He's awesome there. More of Toho Studios, even the parking arrangements, but back there is that Mothra showing you the parking is that direction. Shot in Ginza,
the clock tower,
which that clock tower has been in several, not just in in -1 back to 54, and I'm trying to remember another instance. I don't know if in the original Mothra, whatever, in the 60s Mothra, if it was in that or not, but yeah, it's been in so many great Showa classics. And yeah, there's another shot of it, and it's so cool to see it like this, that it's an old structure, but it's surrounded by the modern buildings. But unlike, no offense, Chris, New York, they just take out some of those old buildings in place of the new, bigger high rises. Some of those old buildings, at least they're able to preserve some of those, even though
it's a beautiful building. It's really, it's so iconic. And it's cool because you can kind of we went when we were there in 2016. Me and Alex and a group of us, we were in there, and it was great to see. And the other statue wasn't that far from that area too.
Is that building used as I don't know, apartments or business building or library? I don't know. I'm just kind of looking at it and seeing what usage it has, but yeah, it's that classic architecture. It just brings you back. I criticize New York, lovingly, but it's because I've seen a lot of documentaries of buildings that used to be there. Famously, there's a building called the Singer Building. If you ever look that up in New York history, beautiful, state-of-the-art building for its time, but it started getting dwarfed by the other buildings around it. And eventually it just had to come down because they needed more real estate. But again, the pictures of it and the iconography of what it, meant in the New York skyline. But unfortunately, again, it eventually disappeared into the mix of things. And yeah, it just didn't have the identity anymore in there. But yeah, thank you, Leslie, especially for sharing these. We get back here to us and get in some of the chat. Thank you, Nick Reviews, backing The Last Dinosaur. And we've got y'all seeing the new Predator Badlands this weekend. Not Godzilla related, but I'll tell you this much. I still only like the Predator 1 and 2. I guess, I don't know. I kind of stopped at Predator 2.
Yep.
It's not.
I'm gonna check it out. I
I'm gonna
like
check
Prey
it
a
out. I
lot.
don't know if I'll go this weekend, but I'm gonna check it out.
Although Predators, I think, or what was it? The
Yeah,
Prey was really good, I thought.
yeah,
was
that was
really
all
good.
right.
Prey was decent.
Yeah, but-
Predators was fun, and The Predator was
I never saw that one.
Good.
You should see it. Yeah, you should watch it.
I guess I was scarred by AVP, and
Oh yeah, and especially AVP 2. Did you see AVP Requiem?
I started watching it. And
AVPR is not that good, but I don't know. I'm kind of partial to the first AVP. It's aged well with the plot and the story and everything. Like, yeah, it's PG-13, but it's better than AVPR. That's for sure.
It is. It's fun. It's fun. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's fun.
I do like that they had Bishop, that actor. Oh gosh, his name eludes me, but the actor
Lance Henriksen.
Lance Hendrickson. Love his voice,
Oh,
and
yeah.
just he was the best part, in my opinion, of that in that film. But it's because he's a great classic actor. It's funny because actually in the commentary of AVP, he's in it with some of the other actors, and when he does introduce himself, they're kind of like, "Oh my, we can't do this anymore. His voice is too cool. We're not cool enough anymore." Bobby Reynolds, good to have you in the chat. Jim Gala, you're a newbie here. Hulk, smash that like button. Thank you for that. I don't care what IP you use to hit that like button, whether it's Atomic Blasting or Hulk Smash. Nathaniel Plummer, who is such a fan of Linda Hamilton that he made her his icon there. Let's raise the roof for the Monster Report, and King Kong lives. You rule, Nick. I remember you being on our Kong discussion on MWA. Shout out to the Monsters with Attitude. I know they've got a stream coming this weekend, and it's like 4 hours. If you're ready for that, tune in to Monsters with Attitude. Nick Reviews likes Prey. I didn't see Prey, so I can't comment. AVP 1 good, AVP R was okay. I'll say this, at least what I remember seeing of AVP R is just it literally not just dark in tone, but dark, as in dark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a
Hard
dark
to see
film.
dark.
You can't see anything.
No.
I know. Yeah. It's like I would have loved to see it, but I couldn't see it. And it's like, yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. I couldn't see it. I couldn't see what was going on. It's like the director said, I'll light this with your cell phone. It'll be fine.
Just as bad as the ending battle of 2014 that was dark forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that film already. Yeah, so dark. But yeah, actually, let me get your guys' opinion again. If you have a hard stop at any point, no problem. But there was the long live stream that was Sunday night of everything going on in Japan. I watched a little bit of it. I also have a job, so I didn't stay up until 2 a.m. or whatever to watch all of it, but I did get the chance to check out some of that. Did anyone burn the midnight oil and drink some coffee and watch all of it?
I didn't watch none of it.
I didn't watch it live. I got to get up too early for work, so
I cut
Same.
dribs and drabs of stuff online. I was just like, I couldn't watch it. I had to wake up too.
How nice it was that there was enough people out there to clip it for us. And, they clipped out, Toho did at least clip out the short film so we could watch it independently. And at least in that, the clip version, they put in the subtitles for us because I don't remember if on the live version we had the subtitles. So that was just a little bit. Dr. Amy Franklin, the best Kong lady. When I do think of Kong ladies, honestly, I do think of Linda Hamilton as I usually forget that she actually is a Kong lady. She was picked up by Kong, not that he was necessarily, in love with her, but he did, he's there, King Kong and her, but I don't think of her as a Kong lady though. I'm sorry.
I've never thought of her as a Kong girl, but I guess she is.
By technicality, in a sense, but
does that mean Gia is a Kong girl as well?
I don't know. You're not wrong. I guess that's another show for another day. Is what makes a Kong girl?
What makes a Kong? It's like Bond girls. What makes a Bond girl? What makes a Kong girl? I don't know.
I'm smelling like a panel at a future convention.
Yeah, there you go. Oh my. Well, I gotta say this. When it comes down to underrated, it's Linda Miller as a Kong girl. A lot of people forget about her, and I keep saying one of the best.
Linda Miller is awesome and wonderful to meet. If you get to meet her in person, she's excellent and she's so nice and super sweet, and a great performance. I mean, I love King Kong Escapes. Who doesn't?
No, I know. Yeah. Shout out, actually, going back to the live stream from Japan. Shout out to Kaiju United. I know that Jacob Lingle stayed up all night and wrote a awesome article on Kaiju United, outlining everything that was happening and writing it out for you if you just want to read about it, and not sit through it, because there was some cool conversations and back and forth. They had people on the stages, and that's spectacular too. But maybe you're not wanting all the energy of that, and then like me, the FOMO of not being there. But one day. But, that was cool to see. And, of course, they unveiled the -0. They unveiled the toys. I know there's some other collectibles out there that people have been highlighting other than the giant condor. I saw some defos that were kind of coming out. But, again, like Everett and I were kind of talking about, this year being 71, maybe some of the releases are a little on the meh side. But it's an off year, I'd say. So, we got a movie at least coming out.
Yeah, really, the real disappointment is that this shouldn't have been the year of Burning Godzilla. It should have been the year of Titanosaurus.
Yeah.
I don't think I can let Toho live that down.
Titanosaurus, but I'm still waiting on the year of Varan, but that's just me personally, and I'm just going to
Varan would be good. Oh, actually, speaking of Titanosaurus, I did forget to mention, how for the Kickstarter, you can get an autograph from Tatsumi Nakamoto, who played the Triceratops and the dinosaur in Last Dinosaur. He also played Titanosaurus.
Everett.
So
my goodness,
we are hoping that this will raise the profile of Tatsumi Nakamoto in the West, and we can get him to come out to a convention, because he also played like Ultraman Leo. He was in Zone Fighter. Like, his rap sheet is incredible.
Too, right?
Gamera Super Monster, and he's there's not a lot of these guys that are still around.
Yeah,
he's one of the few ones that are still around. And what's funny is that, so in the battle between the Triceratops and the T-Rex, he played the Triceratops. The guy who played the T-Rex was Toru Kawai, who played Godzilla in Terror of Mechagodzilla. So they fought in Last Dinosaur, and then they fought as Godzilla and Titanosaurus in Terror of Mechagodzilla. So, yeah.
Now tell me he at least got into the Triceratops the right way.
I hope so.
He didn't put on that costume backwards occasionally because he could. I still love telling my kids, it's like, watch this. He's wearing the suit backwards. It's like, watch how his arms just do something unnatural right here. Yeah, he's wearing it backwards. And then keep watching. Godzilla's about to be set on fire. Yeah, that's why you got to have kids in the house, so you can point these things out, and at least they're at that age where they can still be amazed that something they don't. But Jim Gallup watched Godzilla versus Kong recently. Why was Kong so weak? If you're talking about GVK, Kong was so weak they made him Grandpa Kong. How does he know sign language? Okay, all kinds of problems with movie plots. Also, King Kong should be strong. There's a discussion. Yeah, there's one there. They in fact had to bulk King Kong up, or Kong in this case, for Godzilla v Kong, and so otherwise, yeah, he needs to get that advantage because Kong's always classically been smaller than Godzilla, and with the exception of King Kong versus Godzilla. And yeah, other than that, until the Legendary, he's always been 35 to 50 or so feet in height, and Godzilla's always kind of towered over that. But he's also got the fire breath. I think Hedra's being teased in the -0 trailer. You see his flying form. Yep, we talked about this earlier, Nathaniel. Spells goo. Yeah, Everett mentioned that. More on the goo tease.
I mean, I will say, because I was talking about this to a bunch of my friends, and because when I saw the original Godzilla -1 logo, they just had the G. I was like, oh, the G is Godzilla. And then, apparently a lot of people saw that. Apparently a lot of people didn't see that. Maybe it's a Rorschach thing. But the fact that it's a new G for the sequel leads me to believe that maybe someone on the team was like, oh, people thought that was Godzilla. Maybe we can sneak something into this new logo, but I don't know what it is. I don't think it's Hedra. Who knows? It could also be nothing, but if I was working on the movie, I would definitely sneak something into that logo. So,
well, yeah, get the conversation going.
Yeah.
Is anyone a fan of a fan of Stanley Kubrick and his films?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's been so many documentaries and YouTube creators on the Easter eggs of The Shining, 2001. There's this actually a really interesting documentary called Room 237. I believe it's 237 or 247, whatever the room was in The Shining, and the significance of all these things. I do wonder sometimes if he threw things in there just to get the conversation going, and other times people were noticing things that it was like, yeah, that's what I was doing. Sure. And it's possible. It is possible that this G in this -0, that they just changed it simply because Godzilla will come back and he's going to look different because he's regenerating from whatever was left over from him from -1. He was decidedly blown, his head was blown off. And so it's like, he's going to decidedly look different after he regenerates. So, yeah, I think really it's just a case that the G is going to look different because the Godzilla is going to look different. What we had on Noriko, I kind of teased that fact that she looks like she's got the Venom from Spider-Man, thing going on. That she could turn into Noriko Venom at some point, but it's like, whatever it is, Yamazaki, he's got something in store for us. I think the girl will. Okay, so I've heard this one before, that she's going to be Hedra somehow. She'll be pollution in kaiju form again. And I go back to even the Hedra, the Hedora. I don't know. I always say Hedra. The film and the origins of him. Is he from actually our pollution, or is he from space? They explain it both ways. And
yeah.
And so it's kind of like, choose your own adventure, choose your own origin story. And when they say in the one translation that he actually comes from sludge is actually a byproduct of wastewater treatment. And so you typically don't have a problem with sludge. They usually land apply it. It's not necessarily a pollutant. You don't throw it in the ocean. You usually apply it to land for plants to grow, crops. But so they keep using the word sludge like it is a pollutant of a sort of way. But, it makes for a good movie anyways. But yeah, I think we'll get multiple monsters from Godzilla's pieces of him. Yeah, flying around. It could be. I guess, let me just throw it out there for anyone. Do we hope that he's going to be fighting another monster in this one? I don't think anything's been necessarily confirmed.
if it happens, it happens. If it's another standalone, it's another standalone. That's the way I look at it moving forward. Is whatever we end up seeing on screen, it'll most likely meet the same expectations. I don't think we have to necessarily worry about a sequel being worse than the original in this case, considering, the director and the hands that it's in and just how, big of a impact that -1 was. So I don't think we have to worry about it being a bad movie, but I mean, whatever happens. If it ends up being Hedra, great. I'm a Smog Monster fan, but I'm not pulling for it. It's when I finally see -0, then I'll be blown away. It's the same reason for -1. I went into that, no expectations, didn't know what I was going to see necessarily, even from what was teased and stuff at the time. And I went and saw it with my local buddy, Christopher, Mr. At everyone, Christopher Clavero. Nick probably remembers that. We saw it together and we were just blown away. It was like absolutely incredible. So hopefully -0 does the same thing, and whatever happens. If he fights another monster, cool. If it's a standalone, cool.
Yeah, I kind of agree. I mean, as long as it's a good movie, and I expect it to be a good movie, I'm going to be happy. But I think what's really exciting to me about -0 is the fact that what the last time we had like a Japanese Godzilla movie sequel was like Tokyo SOS.
It's true.
So like it's been so long, and I feel like -1 was set up in such a way that it's so open to any kind of sequel. Like they could do whatever they want. They could do another solo Godzilla film. They could bring in new monsters that have never existed before. They could set it 20, 30 years after -1. It doesn't even have to have the same human characters, right? So we don't know anything about what's going to be in there. I just hope it's as riveting as the first one was. And it would be cool if there was another monster. And I will say, for what it's worth, Yamazaki has, I know he directed the first Godzilla the Ride. I think he worked on the new Godzilla the Ride. So like, he has shown that he's totally cool with having big monster brawls. So that's a possibility, but I'll see. I'm looking forward to the first trailer, and I'm stoked for when the movie's finally going to come out.
Yep.
And what I'd like to see is some of the the idea of lore, the idea of background. There are so many of these films that they may end up with a novelization, they may not, but when it comes to, I want more out of the characters, and even an unwritten or an unseen on screen background to these characters that comes through in their acting. And I wonder sometimes about that. So they'll, some directors will do that, or some writers will do that, write a backstory for the actors. And that becomes their motivation for the way they behave and the way they react to certain things. And then maybe if there's a novelization that does become, public for us to consume, if you wanted more in on these characters. And I think that's always cool to see, and then even connections with, Japan of its time, and some of the things that, made sense in that time. The period piece always brings you to something that is, just unworldly. I'd recently actually started diving into, bizarrely, The Ring and Ringu and Spiral and all of those novels that came from that. Yeah, we had the American Ring and Ring 2, but go back to Ringu coming out of Japan, and the story that is vastly beyond a simple horror film about this girl who's haunting you and wants you to die in 7 days after you watch her videotape. There's actually a lot of connections with Izuoshima Island, and when I kept hearing about that, I was like, oh yeah, where Godzilla jumped into the volcano. And I'm like, that's so cool. What if we had some connection there? I don't know. That would be so, cool to get me something that was, beyond just the monster attack, that, really brings in some lore of Japan and something that maybe even mythic. even if it were Odo Island, and seeing that's one thing maybe I could have done with -1 is something more with Odo Island. We heard about the lore of Godzilla from Odo Island, but we never saw the Islanders, so we just had to assume they were there. So, but that's all you kind of got from that. But yeah, give me more story. I think what they do with the special effects is fantastic, but at least good characters, help these films to soar and last the test of time. As fans, the character is Godzilla, of course. When I go back to showing my kids the classic Showa series, because I always I'm a child of the Showa series, so I'm always gonna go back to those as my go-to. I'm just like, these characters and then the actors who play them, how many roles did they have to jump into, switching from one role to the other in that old studio system that they had? Yes, we're seeing Akira Takarada in this one. Yes, we're seeing oh my goodness, my brain, Akihiko Hirata in certain roles. And it's like, in my head, sometimes I even write the roles for them. I've even kidded with guys that Sarazawa somehow survived and his other eye became patched and he joined the Red Bamboo. And later we had him, in the terrorist organization known as the Red Bamboo, doing their nuclear testing and whatever else with his pseudoscience-y sort of way of, producing, micro oxygen and all that. In my head, it worked. In my head canon. But that's where it lives and dies, I guess. Zillafan85. Michael, good to have you in the chat. Thank you for stopping by. That's okay. You missed a little bit, but you can always check it on replay. We've got some cool stuff going on. Hope you're doing well. Maybe there will be 2 Godzillas, Nathaniel Plummer. Yes, one good, one bad. We have the War of Gargantuas. Yes, we do have that. One of the best classic tokusatsus that we have. So, yeah, anything more from the legacy from here we are in 71 years, after the original. It is Godzilla's birthday. I will bring this up, Everett. I saw in my memories from years ago. Gosh, how many years ago was it? I visited Arizona with Eli. What year was that?
23.
23. My goodness. 2 years ago, I was making the trip with my son on Godzilla Day to head to Tucson for the Tucson Kaiju Festival. Great memories. Zillafan85. Chris from Goji Fan 93 was there. And we got some really cool stuff. I think you ended up with that oxygen destroyer that we saw there that day too.
Here, actually.
Of course, you had it
Nice.
within reaching range.
That's awesome. That's
Oh man,
Yep, I ended up with that.
beautiful, handmade by someone locally.
Yep, no complaints about that. And I still, around the same time, just like last week, I was getting messages and some emails and stuff about, hey, is it going on again or is it coming back? And I'm like, I'm trying, but not this year, but I'm going to try to shoot for next year. We'll see.
Yeah.
Toughest part is finding a venue. That is the toughest part because there's a lot of spaces here in Tucson, but even just for a day, it's hard to find anything below $1,000, if not more, to rent out a spot. And it's a lot of money to throw down when you got bills, mortgage, and everything else. So it'll happen. I want to bring it back. I got a good team behind me. I got, great friends and family who support it and everything like that. So it'll happen. It's going to take the right time. In 2019, when I first did the first Tucson Kaiju Festival, it was a hit. And then, bringing it back in 2023 for the second one, it was another, if not bigger hit, more vendors and, bigger space and panels and all that fun stuff. So whenever it does happen again, I'm pretty sure it's going to be just as fun, if not better than the last. So it'll happen.
Yep,
definitely
sure will. And I was going to say, have you ever checked out or made plans to check out the miniatures of the Silver Screen Ray Harryhausen display that's in Tucson?
I haven't been to yet, but that one Kaiju Chill O'Clock I did a few weeks ago, I mentioned it, and some of my local friends were watching that stream that day, and they actually went out of their way to go check it out. So I got them to go check it out. But I've talked with my dad about it, and it's something that me and my dad want to do together, along with my wife and everything like that. So we might work it into maybe some sort of like a Christmas gift, coming up. We'll all go together and check, because I do want to check that out. I recently just rewatched like Jason and the Argonauts and some of those others. You guys saw that post I did on Godzilla Fan Freaks the other day. I was talking about non-Godzilla kaiju films, and a lot of those movies that are at that display were, I have, and I love rewatching all of those. So definitely want to go check it out, and I will definitely do some sort of a post, maybe even some sort of a vlog video if I can, like Nick did, but probably not as fancy edited.
but usually those museum pieces, I don't know if they charge admission, but at least when it was in Michigan, it was free admission, and yeah, they were fine with you shooting video, pictures, anything you wanted. And it was, it was pretty awesome to be able to be there and see literally these skeletons that were on screen. Not all of the props that were there actually were on screen, but for the majority of them, they were the concepts or the sculptures that Ray Harryhausen himself, put together. So yeah, and writings from him, sketches, concept art that he put together. To say that the man himself actually did put these things together. And in some cases, yeah, some of them haven't lasted the test of time better than others. But yeah, say hi to the Emir for me, because he's my favorite Harryhausen character. So
of course, mine as well.
Oh, he's awesome, and to see him like that. Though of course I see my Star Ace back here, and I'm like, man, my sculpture of that's more detailed than this one. But it's still pretty cool to see that. The Rhedosaurus is awesome. Seeing what's left of it came from beneath the sea. That's a great display. And yeah, you had a great collection of Blu-rays and home video, physical media. Don't let it die out of great classics. But yeah. So you've got that in store for you. Anything else coming up for you, Everett, that you want to shout out, or anything cool that you're about to experience other than going to the miniatures of the silver screen?
I mean, there's that. I want to get back onto a regular schedule with Kaiju Chill O'Clock. I know it's been kind of scattered and different. It's either a week apart or 2 weeks apart every other week. However, it just ends up lining up. But just always be on the lookout for Saturdays if I'm going to be going live. Again, it helps if you Atomic Blast that notification bell for my channel. That way when I go live. But I mean, other than trying to get back on track with those, because I enjoy doing those, hour, if not more than an hour long live streams. Shout out again to Matt Burkett. He's been helping me on my Kamen Rider rabbit hole that I've been on. So, I've been watching Kamen Rider Amazon as of lately. That's a pretty fun, wild show. As far as like reviews and stuff, again, there's some Kamen Rider figures that are going to be coming review wise. Nick's going to be helping me doing the thumbnails for those.
That's awesome.
I got another Kamen Rider model kit that I got to build. Just a lot of Kamen Rider stuff. And, even the purchases on Godzilla Day. I just got the Giant Condor band I pre-ordered. And then I also pre-ordered the Space Godzilla t-shirt from Ghost X Ghost. That was it. But you know what? Hey, that's fine. I don't need to spend a bunch of money all the time anyway. But yeah, it's been quite the Kamen Rider ride over here at the Godzilla Fan Freaks headquarters for sure lately.
It's a great show. I love Kamen Rider.
Yeah, now let's take it away. Anything cool coming up for you, and any shout outs or things you want to make sure you re-promote?
Yeah, I mean, obviously The Last Dinosaur is a big deal. It's going to be my focus of November. Seismic will also be at Designer Con this year. That happens in Las Vegas. So that'll be not this weekend, but the weekend after. So if anyone is going to be in Vegas, wants to stop by, say hi. The Last Dinosaur will be there on display, of course. if anyone wants to check them out in person. And then actually this Friday in Toronto, Canada, we're having the first ever Kaiju Video Club, which is a Kaiju movie screening and Kaiju toy market. So it's kind of the first event of its kind in Canada that I know of, and it's exciting. So it's being hosted by SEISMIC and by Anime City, which is a shop in Toronto that sells all sorts of kaiju and tokusatsu stuff. So yeah, excited to do that, and I'll make sure to share photos and all that kind of good stuff.
Okay, so in Toronto, yeah, Chris, are you heading up for that one?
No, I can't make this weekend, but I will be at DesignerCon next week. So come see us. We're going to have a bunch of cool stuff. And again, that's a great show, full of awesome sofubi. But definitely come by our table, and please be sure to follow along with The Last Dinosaur. It's going to be really exciting. And the only thing we got lined up again, not too much is booked yet. There's a lot of things that we're also working on behind the scenes, but we'll be at the usuals, Kaiju Brooklyn and G-Fest for this year coming up.
Okay. And I was going to say, cool. Yeah, what building or where's the venue for DesignerCon happening? I'm not a Vegas aficionado. One day I'll get out there.
I forget the name of the location.
Let me pull it up. It's a really cool looking building, actually. But
it is.
I didn't know if it was one of those ones that everyone thinks about when they think of Vegas, like the MGM Grand or something like that, or yeah, that's okay.
I forget the name, but we're located at TF5. That's our table name. So
the Expo at World Market Center.
That's right.
Yeah.
World Market Center. Okay, yeah. Like I said, never been to
cool,
Vegas.
Though. If I had more time to plan, that's something I would definitely just drive up there, because I mean, in reality, Vegas isn't that far away from me. I could easily make that. Last time me and my dad went to Vegas was last year, actually. We left super early in the morning here at Tucson, and we got to Vegas like before maybe even 11 a.m., 12 p.m.
Cool.
So it's like, it's not that bad of a drive either. So, but if I had better planning, I'd love to come see you guys for sure. That would be awesome.
Great to meet up.
Yeah, it'd be fun. It's a cool show because like it's a huge show floor and a lot of neat stuff. I mean, hopefully actually Chris and I can take some pictures and video and maybe share it on a future Monster Report or something. Can give a little behind the scenes look at what DesignerCon is like.
Nice.
And your Toronto show too. Yeah, I would love to hear more about that too, since did you say it was its first of its kind?
Yeah. I mean, there have been other like kaiju events in terms of film screenings, but we'll be screening Godzilla's Revenge, and a bunch of secrets to be determined on the day. Other kaiju ephemera, and then there'll be a toy market and a toy showcase at the event. So hopefully, kindling more of the sofubi and kaiju toy community in Toronto.
That is awesome. Okay, yeah. So make sure you all are following SEISMIC Toys, all of the great events that they're attending, and of course, be watching for The Last Dinosaur and all that's happening with that by going to Kickstarter. It doesn't cost you anything to get signed up for the notifications, and it's a simple email, so it's no problem there. Fred Hollis, I'll get to your question probably with a later video when we get a little bit more news maybe on minus zero at this point, because at this point it's all speculation. But yeah, there'll be a future show, I'm sure. As far as the Monster Report, yeah, we're just still producing content here. A lot of box days in order. I finally got that Ichi Bansho Dorats and Godzillasaurus.
Nice.
Took forever to get here. And it was like, I think you had it already, Chris, before the Godzilla store even got them in stock. I don't know.
We got ours in like about a month or so ago. They came in stock. Great figure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, good. It's still in the box, but I was like, man, I should have just ordered it from you. But shout out to you guys, because I've definitely got some great original SEISMIC toys, as well as some of the stock that you've got on the website, which is still really cool stuff. Some classics. Some new stuff. I know I got my Ichibancho Heat Ray -1 from you. one of the best that's out there. So that's a fantastic,
Wonderful toy.
figure.
Yeah.
Yep.
Highly detailed, beautifully colored. I still love that one. A ton. I've even got the X Plus 30 centimeter of -1, but that one has got the detail. That one has got the presence. Oh, there he is. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful figure.
Oh man. Yeah. But other than that, I know I've got the first for me will be an X Plus 30 centimeter of a GMK, another Godzilla store item that I picked up. And
Which one did you get? The standard?
The standard.
Oh, nice. I'm glad you got it. I
standard.
know you were debating about it, but I'm glad you pulled the trigger on it.
Well, and I was debating about it with X Plus North America, and then there was a lot of let's just say media news, behind the scenes things going on with X Plus North America and tariffs. Some of it was not exactly their fault, and then there was just a lot of just stuff going on with that, and I was just like debating it. I know that Everett was happy. At least he got his Baragon Mothra GMK set. I know you got that too, Chris, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and didn't seem like it was affected by all of the issues with tariffs out there. It did interestingly find the Ben Cooper Halloween costume figures that they put out of those Godzilla, and they had the Fly, they had all kinds of those other cool little. I wasn't sure about it. Then after I looked at it for a while on the shelf. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and pick this guy up. So I got that, and I've got a Super 7 by Godzilla versus Biollante, that exclusive that they had at one of the Comic Cons that they released, and found it actually still boxed at Toy Department. So got some of that coming up, and some skits to go along with that. Oh yeah, Zillafan 85 will head up to Toronto, see it on the big screen. But yeah, I imagine you'll be seeing the American dub of that. Not All Monsters Attack. Yeah. And any thoughts from you guys on the SH Monster Arts Godzilla versus Megaguirus Godzilla figure? It's tempting. Does look good. I did see some. Oh, I think it was Kaiju Canuck said something about that, and that it falls apart easily. So I don't know. I don't know from personal experience. I just know what I've seen on the internet by people like me who review these things. But
yeah, when it comes to Tamashii Nations, I always wait till I see maybe like sometimes even 5 reviews from people to see if it's consistently good or consistently overpriced garbage.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think Chris is the same way, but I kind of tapped out on the posable articulated market because I had too many instances where I get something and either it'd fall apart or it wouldn't be that well built, or it would look not quite right, and then they later on do a revision where it looked better, and it's like, well, I don't want to buy the whole figure again. So
yep.
I was like, every now and then I'll pick one up. For the most part, I stick to like Sofubi or that kind of stuff.
You like Kamen Rider? I will say, so far, my recent pickups for SH Figure Art Kamen Rider figures, these are excellent figures for the money.
I will say the humanoid figures are better for
like the SH Figure Arts Kamen Riders, the Ultramans, like those are consistently good. I haven't seen a problem with those, but the Monster Arts, I think it's just they have so many parts.
Yes, it just begs the question, because it's like I even have Jet Jaguar, and it's just like, man, Jet Jaguar is more expensive than these Kamen Rider and other humanoid type figures are. But it's like the Jet Jaguar, it was okay, but oh god, it wasn't worth the price point. And you got all these other figures that are cheaper that have better quality and everything all around it. It just, I've touched on that topic in my last few videos. If you guys have watched those, I can go all day about that.
I mean, the sculpt does look good for the 2000. I'll say that it looks
yeah.
Really
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm with you. Same, Nathaniel there. Yeah, but yeah, sculpting wise, I mean, they still have Yuji Sakai doing the sculpt regardless. Yeah,
they do, and the sculpt on the new one looks great. So
yeah, he's always hitting a home run with the sculpt, but yeah, he's not I'm guessing that he's not, part of the articulation when they all start pulling it apart and making it a, ball joints or whatever kind of joints in the articulation kind of territory. But yeah, there's always that kind of struggle with Monster Arts. I still have my Monster Arts Hedra that looks great, but man, those pieces of him do not stay together.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I does a better job though. Those are actually really, really well done. Titanic Creations, obviously, their Gorgo and Yongari, I think, are really awesome. Like probably one of the best articulated toys on the market.
Yep.
Yeah, whoever they had manufacturing them, they've got it together when it comes to that. Your Gigantron has some articulation, is that right, or is it pretty solid?
No, it's pretty solid.
But it's like Sofubi style. It's like arms and legs. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Stuff like that, but it's not. It's a hardy figure, so.
Yeah. Okay. So it's got just some arm articulation and leg articulation, but not by much. For the price, they need to have magnetic tails. There's a lot that can go into it. I said with Super 7, they should try and get into magnetic something, because they had the train biter little Super Kaiju figure, and that train does not stick in the mouth at all. And I'm like, if it was just a magnet, it'd just be like, fine, it's there and easily to remove and put it right back in there. But who am I? But they also price it for like, I don't know, $35, $40. I feel like for that price, they should at least put 2 little magnets in there.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm asking too much, but okay. Any last words before we take off for the day? Because this has been a great conversation on Godzilla Day, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing all that's happening with The Last Dinosaur.
Yeah, me too. You can definitely guarantee I'll get the tippy top of whatever Last Dinosaur package there is at this point. Because I love that movie. I love that movie so much. So I will definitely buy whatever most expensive version there is.
Nice. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we'll do our best to make it worth your while.
Of course. Yeah, don't pull a Tamashii Nations on me now.
No.
It's sturdy. Toy. It's sturdy. I'll give you that. Yeah, excited about the Last Dinosaur stuff. Even though this wasn't the most exciting, blow your pants off Godzilla Day, I really like the new Godzilla suit. I really like minus 0.0 or Godzilla. I guess it's just called minus 0. Godzilla minus 0. I can't wait for. So I don't know. It's I feel like since, I don't know, around 2019, it's just been such a good time to be a kaiju fan that there's so much good stuff coming out, and it's just easy to be happy because every year we're getting something new across everything. So it's good. It's a good time to be a kaiju fan.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, definitely follow these guys, SEISMIC Toys, on all their socials, and Godzilla Fan Freaks on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and be staying tuned for here at the Monster Report. Got some great stuff coming out in the near future. Like any thing else, it's not my full-time job. It is just something I do as a hobby, but I appreciate everyone who's supported the show, and I appreciate everyone who has been guests on the show, regular guests like you gentlemen. You've always been awesome and very generous with your time. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to the next step and, the next conversation we get to have with one another. So for me, Nick Adam, pulling from the Monster Report, this has been the Monster Report Live, and we will catch you next time.